Planet Vicious. This is another anime review. We're gonna do the Bleach episode 2 and episode 3. I thought I'd do a two-parter, seeing that episode 2 is really just an introduction to the story. Just gives us a little bit more insight on what's going on. We always start off episode 2 hot with Your Majesty, because we don't really have his name yet, but Your Majesty is basically disciplining his soldiers. Discipline to Your Majesty is usually death, so that ends with him pointing his finger and basically the guy exploded. To the real world, where we see the gang in Ichigo's apartment. Ichigo is on patrol. He's running around, searching for hollows to protect the people. That's what his job is as Substitute Soul Reaper. We know that. We don't really need a history lesson on that. That's not really important. We go into Nail, who reverted back to her childlike form and comes to Ichigo and asks Ichigo for help. Gives us a little backstory on how Your Majesty took over Waco Mundo. He basically enslaved, if you don't remember this, Arankar. She has the water power, shark powers. Nobody really killed her. She was really strong. I think they just kind of knocked her out. I'm not really too sure about that. It has been about 10 years since Bleach was out. But in the meantime, he has her hostage. So we get a visit from Urahara, who offers to take Ichigo to Waco Mundo to see and investigate what's going on in Waco Mundo. Small village that kind of just vanished there. Reishi just totally disappeared and vanished. And in the Soul Society, that's very weird. Waco Mundo, as he confronts these new villains, faction, whatever you want to call them. I mean, I've read the manga, so there's no need to beat around the bush. If you've seen episode 2 and 3, you know they're Quincy's, and they want Ichigo's head. They actually want the Soul Society's head. Maybe because this comes full circle with Soul Society, the human world, the Hollows, and now the Quincy. So basically in the last few days, the Soul Society has been under attack, and they don't know where the attacks are coming from. So they basically are gearing up for war. Plus, they also got the threat, so they were infiltrated multiple times. Full of action. This is a great episode. Starts off with Jay sending his units at Ichigo. They're firing their Quincy arrows, and this is when Ichigo realizes who the enemy is. He stops them with his bare hands. He's not even using his Bankai, so to me this is very impressive on how strong Ichigo is. We don't really know how strong he is. We don't know what type of training he has done, and basically we don't really know how much time has passed. Jay acknowledges Ichigo's power, so he basically uses his Bankai, aka Resurrection. This is the Quincy's version of that. You get the official standoff between Jay and Ichigo in his full form. Now, Jay gives Ichigo a history lesson on what has been going on with the Quincy's for the last 200 years, and this is a little explanation on why they hate the Soul Reapers. But it seems like this guy's power is nothing to Ichigo. Like I said, it's very impressive how strong Ichigo is. He's not even in his Bankai form, and he's able to block this man's attacks in his resurrection form. So I'm very impressed with Ichigo. But without the Bankai form, his blade basically does absolutely nothing. The guy takes the blade to the neck, and no effect. Now Jay has the ability to absorb reishi. So his ability allows him to absorb reishi at a very irregular rate, but then also we get the attack from behind, which knocks Jay across the room. It's the beast that the three Arankars fuse their body parts together. But as we know, in all animes, no matter how big or buff you are, the skinniest guys usually put those big guys down. All the muscular guys really go down after normally one hit. But they give us some impressive rage. He slams Jay around, breaks his neck. Breaks Jay's neck. Jay gets back up, fixes his neck in a anime way, just pops his neck back into place. Stabs the girl in the chest. Now he's going for pure absorption, where he's basically relinquished from Yu-Gi-Oh! He absorbs your power and he uses it for himself. You become a part of him. But it only seemed to increase his absorption rate. They gives us a new kind of transformation for him. He kind of looks like Aizen. I thought they paid a homage to Aizen. But then he looks like he has a spear, but he also looks like the Ichigo hollow form they showed the one time in the filler. He starts absorbing everybody's reishi at a phenomenal rate, creating this big, arrow. I think he's just going to absorb everyone at this point. And then we get Ichigo stopping him with his awakened Bankai and his black Getsuga. But it seems like it's just a standoff. So we're going to wait for the next episode to continue the battle between them. I'm sure Ichigo should use his mask. And then we could really see kind of how, the scale of Ichigo's new powers. The sky looks kind of gray. So it kind of seems like something is going to happen. Gives us the wall. And then we get the kaboom, big explosion where everyone's confused and there's mass chaos. And gave us a real homage to the Attack on Titan season 1. We see Rukia and everyone. So basically, Your Majesty is attacking directly in front of the main gate. This guy has no chill. And he comes full force, kind of like a beefed up Apocalypse. That's all I could compare him to. He reminds me of Apocalypse, he really does. But he brings his gang, and we get our very first familiar face casualty where Lieutenant Kira is shot through the chest. Well, not through the chest, but his damn near half of his body gets blown off. Now he's dead. We get another attacker comes in, slams 2 more lieutenants on the floor. We haven't really identified them yet. We get a guy whose head gets blown off. They're really stepping this anime up. It's getting back to how it was in the 80s. They show us one of the Quincy's, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's an all-out war now in Soul Society, and I don't really think they're prepared. So hopefully Renji and them is enough. We get to Ishida. Now I neglected to mention this part of the show. I just jumped right into the battle, but basically Ishida thought that he was the last Quincy, and his family's been lying to him. As we can see, there's more of them. So he's trying to discover the secret, finds the secret book, and learns that he's not the last one. So he has his first awakening. And in the next few episodes, hopefully we'll see his resurrection form and he can join Ichigo. But I still want that battle between Ishida and Ichigo. The first one was more of an introduction, and now the second part, we get a war, and part 3, episode 4, is gonna be on another level. We already lost a captain. I mean, not a captain. We lost, I think, a lieutenant. Whichever he was. I think he was a lieutenant. But basically, one shot at him. And this sets up a battle between the Grim Reaper one and this guy who blew half his body off. So we see that there's going to be some intense deaths going on. And now Your Majesty is at Soul Society. So I know it's going to happen. I hope you do too. But thank you for watching Planet Vicious anime review of Bleach episode 2 and episode 3. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I have videos going up all the time. I also have my gaming PS5. You can see right now I'm doing Gotham Knights, so you can catch me running the walkthrough. You can see me play multiplayer with people online. I'm also on Twitch at ViciousKing718. Thank you for watching the video. I'll see you next time.